Because once you get a hang of it, what for us growing up at school, we figured that if something sounds right, it may be right when you have to write it down as well, but obviously that isn't the case. Meaning English, for example, I think I remember the jury was unanimous in its verdict, but the jury were divided in their opinion. Now jury being a collective noun should always be considered as singular, but that wasn't the case, is what we were told when we were writing those entrance tests. So it has its own quirks. Anything that for somebody who's done a PhD, something that fascinates you about the language that had you scratching your head when you tried to decode the meanings of some of these letters or words for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, I would only say, and, I don't want to be too, how can I put this, radical, revolutionary. If something is making you scratch your head, that probably, or often is because it's actually not a settled matter among speakers of the language, among native speakers. There is a reason for saying the jury were, and there is a reason for saying the jury was. One is arguably based on grammar, and the other one based on meaning, that a jury necessarily tends to be made up of plural people. So these aspects, the things that we actually have to be taught, explicitly taught in the classroom as rules, often arise from situations that are inherently messy within the language and that are undecided within native speakers, or indeed, are a little bit artificial, perhaps. I think a couple of times where explicit rules need to be taught might be because those aspects of the language would on their own sort of naturally die out. They're kind of being artificially maintained for various reasons of history and prestige. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's all sorts of things all the time where English has me sort of scratching my head and thinking about this in various ways. And I honestly, the word order is quite complex in English. We do arrange things in certain ways, and we think, on reflection, what is the point of that? A great example that has been much studied by linguists is what we call do support. When you make sentences negative in English, it's not just a matter of adding the negative word, something like not or never. We tend to add in do, this superfluous do. I don't say things like I like not. You could in the past, once upon a time. Sounds very Shakespearean, very medieval. But nowadays it's I do not like. And the do, I mean, come on, what's that doing there? It's almost superfluous, but it is absolutely essential. For me, that would not be English without it.